Hello and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk a bit about one set in particular, and that is this set, Team Magma and Team Aqua EX, or EX Team Aqua Team Magma. And this set is interesting to me for one main reason in particular, and that is I think it could possibly be the lowest printed set of the whole EX era, and potentially the whole TCG, although I feel like some of the black and white sets maybe had less printing. But this set in particular, I think, so this was after Sandstorm, before Hidden Legends, and I think along with Emerald, EX Emerald, from what I've seen just in my observations online, looking at the cards that come up the supplier, I feel like it's got to be the lowest possibly. And so I thought today I would talk in particular about common cards, because these commons here are actually anything but common today. So I did some looking on eBay before this, and so this is eBay Australia. I'm limiting the search just to Australia. And really, if you want to buy cards in Australia, this is your only option, other than Facebook Marketplace, which is always overpriced, always a pain to deal with. So really it's eBay or nothing. And I had a look at some of these cards earlier. I did some searching, and so Jigglypuff first, which some of these artworks are really cute, like classic Ken Sugimori art, this nice aesthetic backgrounds. This card here, 4 copies available in the whole of Australia. So not a small country. Well, the population size, like almost 30 million we have now, and 4 copies of Jigglypuff. I think about $15 Australian is the lowest copy. So not bulk anymore. We have Bulbasaur, also 4 copies. You know, classic Bulbasaur. I like the daisies here, it's nice artwork. I think these were not from the Japanese set. I think these are from some deck or something that got included into the set itself, because they don't match the vibe of some of the other cards. But yeah, this Bulbasaur, 4 copies available in the whole of Australia. I think the lowest one is like 22 or something like that, but there's no photo. It's just like a generic image. And then after that, it jumps up to 50 plus. $50 for a common card. Kind of insane. And that's any quality. I'm not just looking for near mint cards. I'm looking for any quality I can find. Squirtle, 4 of them listed, but 2 of them are reverse holos. And the cheapest actual non-holo copy is like a graded 9 that's like $80, some obscure grading company. So we can confidently say that's at least $50 as well for the non-holo. The reverse holo, you're looking at like $250 for like just a reverse holo, and it's a really cute artwork. The Sakura cherry blossoms, very cute Squirtle. Moving on, the Meowth, I found 0 listings. So if you want this Meowth in Australia right now, it is impossible to get a copy of this card. You just have to order it from the US, I guess, and pay the extra import costs. There is a few listed in the US, like a decent amount. And obviously, like, it's 10 times the size. You'd expect roughly 10 times the amount of supply to be there. But there's still not that many, and I think it's like $7 USD for the card like this, and then the postage would be not cheap to get it all the way to Australia. So that's Meowth. You do have to be a bit careful, because there's some cards like this. This one was part of the deck. So I actually had this deck as a kid, and I think there's like 4 copies of the Aron in the deck. So whenever you look at a vintage card like this, you have to consider that some of them will be printed in decks. The printing's identical, you can't tell the difference. And so there's gonna be more Arons, but even so, only 9 of these Aron listed in the whole of Australia, which is kind of insane. I didn't look up this one in particular, or the Bow Toy. And these are like CG artworks, to me they're kind of iconic. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the CG kind of like backgrounds and stuff, but I think they're cool. It reminds me of like Colosseum, Gale of Darkness kind of vibes. We have Poochyena. I think this was also 4 copies. We've got Houndour, had a few copies, some reverse holos, but still it's like I think $15, $20 each to get a card. We've got Electrike, Chinchou, and Corphish. So yeah, the classic CGI, you can see these ones all kind of match together, all the Team Aquas, Team Magma's Pokemon. And then I think there must have been some Japanese deck or some series of cards that got included into the bundle, the whole set. Yeah, so that's my commons. And these are just from my childhood collection. I probably opened like 1 or 2 packs as a kid of Team Magma, Team Aqua. I had the deck, but I definitely didn't open a lot. I do have an EX I got in a trade a while back, the Sceptile. But yeah, this is basically all I've got from this set. So my question that I've been really curious about is, where is the supply of these cards? Like where, assuming they were printed at least, because for these to be available in stores, you'd think that most sort of game stores, some big box like Target, would get at least 1 booster box of every set. So for a country like Australia, there must have been hundreds, if not thousands, of booster boxes distributed around the country. And each box should have at least half a dozen, roughly, of each common. Because these aren't big sets. This is, I think, 95 cards in the set. So they have to be out there somewhere. And I'm so curious where the supply is. Is it concentrated? Is it people like me who just have like 1 of each common? And then that's repeated 1,000 times over. People have their binders stored away. They're not looking at them. They're not thinking about Pokemon cards. They're not thinking that, oh, my Squirtle's worth $50. I could probably sell this now. And the supply, I think, as well, over the last 5 years, as more people have got back into the hobby after the COVID boom, people have slowly been chipping away at cards like these, and especially cards like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Meowth, Jigglypuff. Species collectors are after cards like these, and they will all need 1 copy for their species collection. So for every Bulbasaur species collector, they're going to want a copy of this card. And so they've slowly been bought off the market in the last few years. Not in huge quantities, but just 1 or 2 here and there. And even if like 1 or 2 sell a month, or 1 sells every 3 months, I think is roughly what I saw looking at the sold listings. Over the course of 5 years, it's just happened so much faster than the cards are coming back to market. The rate of people discovering their childhood collections and selling them has slowed down. There's not many of these left that are in the hands of people who are looking to get rid of them, which means that there's been a massive like squeeze on supply. And it could get worse if people actually notice how rare these common cards are. Because for someone to buy up all the remaining Bulbasaur or Jigglypuff, to buy all the remaining Jigglypuff would cost you about 80 Australian dollars, and then there's 0 left on the Australian market. Maybe someone already did that for Meowth. So it's interesting times for cards like these, and in the massive vintage boom where everyone's looking at the PSA 10 reverse holos and all the vintage grails, the like Japanese Mews and PSA 10, the gold stars. These cards get forgotten, and they're just quietly going up behind the scenes. So that's all for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do you have any of these cards lying around? Do you have like a whole stack of bulk of just EX era commons and uncommons? Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.